Hey guys, Liam Kearney here again. I just want to talk to you a little bit today about making mistakes, if you like. One of the things I've found with a lot of my growing up, and shall we say a lot of the time I've spent in careers and working in jobs, was that I was constantly looking for the right way to do things, and that had this idea of my idea, was right, or your idea was right and my idea was wrong. Um, and that I've kind of come back to a point now where I realise kind of like that the whole premise is flawed. The idea that someone's idea is right and somebody else's idea is wrong is insane. Because essentially all you've just got is ways of doing things, and that essentially the more ways you try at doing something, the better chance you have of finding a way that you like and the best way that you think that you're doing it. But that if I find a way that I like doing it and you find a way that you like doing something, it doesn't necessarily mean one way is any better than the other. It just means you found a way that you prefer doing things, and essentially I might do something one way and it'll work really well for me. But if you try to do it that way, it won't work as well and your way will work better for you. So that's kind of all it comes down to. But essentially it's kind of coming back to that basic thing of like, what are you doing? Whether it's working for yourself or working for somebody else or whatever it is, that when you go in and you do that job work every day, how do you look at it? Do you look at that like, it's a job and it pays my bills? Do you look at it like, well, what can I learn today and who can I help by doing this? Or do you look at it and kind of go, well, this isn't where I want to be, so how do I get out of here? And it was just that thing of bringing it back to a level of, how do you get satisfaction out of doing whatever it is you're doing today? You may not be in your dream job, but how do you turn it around so that it's framed slightly differently so that I get to help customers today? Or how do you look at it so that you can actually get some sort of job satisfaction that will kind of give you a better feeling of, I suppose, contentment in yourself and enjoyment out of the process. Because for me, I was always kind of afraid of making mistakes, and I still am to an extent today, but that before I was always looking for things, looking for approval from somebody else and saying like, what's the right way to do this? But I'm just finding more and more that like every time I make a mistake, I learn from that very, very fast. And I'm kind of looking forward to 2014 and making as many mistakes as I can, because the more mistakes I make, the faster I learn, and shall we say, the bigger that learning curve. And the more mistakes I make, the more valuable I am to an employer or to my own business or whatever it is. And I think having gone through, shall we say, certain processes over the last couple of years, that before that I had spent a lot of time, shall we say, getting all of the things that I wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like I never looked at getting a degree as an accomplishment. I never looked at getting a good leaving cert as an accomplishment. I never looked at my job experience as a good accomplishment. Whereas I'm starting to see that now, that essentially if I don't look at them as accomplishments and I don't value them, how am I ever going to be able to sell my experience to somebody else? Sell my value to somebody else. So I know this kind of, I've spoken about it a lot today, but essentially my main message kind of today is kind of like, go out there and make as many mistakes as you can. Because the more mistakes you make, the better you get, the quicker you learn, and the more valuable you become to society and to your company. So don't be afraid of screwing up. Go out there, screw up. You're going to make mistakes. Like, that's the one thing you're guaranteed in this lifetime, is that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things and you're going to screw up. But go out there and take that on the chin and say, I know I'm going to screw up. So just do it, do your best, and move on. So that's it for today, guys. Talk to you soon.